So I want to use this so people, when they complete the form, something starts sending, and I want to send a few emails. So I guess I have to check that this is a template campaign, and I think I have to create more options, right?
Yeah, that's right. You got it. So that's exactly right. So let's do this. We'll name this, you know, web lead response 1. And we'll save that. And then if we go back to templates, you see there it is in my list of templates, and I can go here and say clone and edit.
Okay.
And so that makes a copy. So I maybe want to change this to web lead response 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I go in here and, you know, change the design of the template however you want. You know, whatever. Save that and do it again. Create the 3rd one and the 4th one and the 5th one and whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now we've got our templates created. Now, the last part there's 2 more pieces to connecting it to your form and automating the follow-up. First is we got to create the form. So if you go to forms, here you have 2 different options. If you already have a form on your site, then we can connect to that. Or if you don't have a form yet, then you can build it in SalesNexus and publish it on your website.
Okay.
So let's look at both of those. So I go up here to the plus, and I can say use existing form or create new form. So we'll go ahead, and the process is kind of the same, other than when you're using your existing form, you don't have to, you know, create the fields in the first place. They're already there. Let's create a new one though, assuming that you're starting from 0. So we'll create a new form and we'll give it a name and choose the domain, the website that form's going to be on. Redirect URL, you don't really need to put that in unless you want to. And then when the lead comes in, which user on your team do you want to assign it to? You can choose that here in this little drop down. So I'm going to just choose myself. And you see it's given me a little starter form. Over here on the right, we're using that same editor that we were using for the emails, but it just has this new additional element here called form. When I click into this starter form, I get all the controls for the form part of it. And you can see down here, manage fields. This is where I add more fields to that form. So if I want it to be first name, last name, email, company, and phone number, for instance, right? First of all, I'm going to take this email and drag it down so it comes after the first and last name. And then here, under add new field, you should be able to click that and
Add a phone number.
Yeah, add the phone number field, exactly. Yep.
And less is more, right? So we don't need to put a lot of information here. It's just for the person to provide, you know, their name, phone number, email, and after that we go after them with the email, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's a great point that you're making. You will get more forms submitted, or more leads, in other words,
Mm-hmm.
if you ask for less information. So what, you know, in the case where you really need to have a lot of information, what you can do is maybe create a short form like this, and then it goes to a second form. or they provide more information. So at least you'll get everybody's basic contact information, and some people will submit all the additional information. Once you got your form set up the way you want it, just a couple other things while we're here. You scroll down a little bit. This is where you can control the colors and all of that, to make it fit your color scheme on your website and so on. And then when you're done, you just save it, and it takes you back here. And then you want to say publish, and it gives you this JavaScript that you can just copy by clicking right there. Mm-hmm. And then you want to go to your website and paste that into the page where you want that form to appear. Depends on what website platform you're in as to how that will really work. But usually there's a way to, like if you're in a WordPress builder like Elementor or something like that, there's a element that you can bring into your page that's a code element, and then you just paste that JavaScript into there and publish the page, and you're done. And now your form's on the site. And once that's done, you're ready to roll. Now the data, when you start filling it out, you'll see it here. So when you're on forms, you can go to view submissions, and you'll see all the data that's come in through that form. One of the things that I recommend is you want to make it set up so that it automatically puts maybe a field like lead source equals to my website or something like that. So you can also do lookups based on that. Just kind of makes life easy. But so now we got our form, we got our emails. Now we just want to automate the follow-up, right? Mm-hmm. So we would go here to goals, and this is where we'll create what we call a pipeline or a process. So we'll create a new one. And then here, let's call it lead follow-up sequence, including email, auto responders, and sales calls. And I put in that description because when you hit AI recommend, it's going to try and build it for you.
And I should say that as a sales or as a marketing? It was like
well, the main distinction is if you want to just send emails and automated messages, then make it a marketing funnel, okay, marketing pipeline. If you want to if you also want to be able to trigger sales calls and things like that, like alerts for you to call them, then you want to make it a sales funnel. Okay, so there it's analyze my description and making some recommendations. So I say apply now, and there you go. It's created a pipeline for me. And if you want, you can change these by just hitting edit here, or you can just build it from scratch by hitting new stage here and create your own stages. But now each stage, I can come in here and hit settings and then say, when an opportunity is moved to this stage, then I want to send an email. And then here in this little drop down where it says template, that's where we're going to see all the emails that we've created.
Okay.
And you can preview it and you can create new ones from here. So you could do this the opposite sequence. You could go here and build out your pipeline, and then just click here to edit the template or create a new one. You see right here, it says create new template, and then it takes you to the editor to build one. So that's up to you, whatever sequence you think makes the most sense. But you choose your email, and then you say add trigger, and it adds it in here. In this case, it actually put these things in here for me when the AI designed it for me, right? Mm-hmm. So I can go in here to the task and say, you see how this is set up? When the opportunity is stalled in this stage after 24 hours, then create a task. Well, maybe you don't want to wait for 24 hours, right? You want to change this to when the opportunity is moved to that stage. So when it's brand new, and I'm going to change it to schedule a call. And you can put in here new web lead first call or whatever, and it's due on the first day. And then update trigger. And so now that's going to automatically show up on your task list when somebody fills out that form. And then what you would do is probably, let's take this extra one out of here, and then let's create a new one. And we'll say, you could say something like, when the contact clicks the email, or when the call happens, right? So when you actually make that call, then I want to move them to the next stage, right? So I'll just add that in. And so now it's going to send them the email, tell you to call them. And when you call them, it moves them to the next stage, right? Mm-hmm. And then you go here to the next stage in the pipeline, and you do the same thing again and set up, additional triggers to send your email or remind you to call again or whatever's appropriate.